She described dancing with you,
No.
and you profusely sweating, and that she went on to have bath, possibly.
There's a slight problem with the sweating because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time.
For the first time in centuries, a senior member of the British royal family has been arrested, and it's the brother of the king.
Britain's former Prince Andrew has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office.
The former Prince Andrew has been released from police several hours after being arrested.
And a photographer was able to take a photo of the former Prince Andrew. I can tell you that that was taken about 6:50 p.m. local time in the UK, and remember that he was taken into custody around 8 a.m.
An individual was released from police custody, but are under a duty to return when called upon to do so.
Here's police outside Sandringham Estate in Norfolk, where Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been living. They're searching his home. Formerly Prince Andrew, Duke of York, his links to Jeffrey Epstein had already forced him out of his previous home. He lost his royal titles, his reputation, and now his freedom. He's not convicted of anything, and at this exact moment, he's not even charged, but he's been arrested over suspicions of misconduct in public office. He's been accused of sharing confidential information with Jeffrey Epstein while serving as a British trade envoy. Misconduct of this sort, if carried through to a charge and conviction, carries a maximum penalty of life in prison.
I think that it's unlikely that they would arrest a member of the royal family without feeling that they've got some really good evidence.
Oh, and it's Andrew's 66th birthday today. Let me show you why police have just arrested a member of the royal family and why the king himself appears unwilling to stop it.
One suspects that this story isn't going away. It has got the potential to get bigger. And I think with that is a shadow looming over the royal family.
The arrest of Andrew begins with an advocacy group most North Americans will never have heard of. Republic is very plainly anti-monarchy. Its mission is to abolish it. They brought a complaint to police, which police have since confirmed they're looking into. Now, I want to be clear here. Authorities have said very little about the arrest of the former prince. They actually don't even name Andrew Mountbatten Windsor at all. They even say they won't name him, which is customary in the UK. But instead, they write somewhat cryptically, yet unmistakably and barely disguised, that they've arrested a man in his 60s from Norfolk on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Like, we're talking about former Prince Andrew here, and they know, we know, they know, we know. But what is this misconduct? What confidential information is Andrew accused of inappropriately sharing? Well, for that, we turn to the 3.5 million, generally unexciting but sometimes riveting pages in the latest Epstein Files document dump. I'll show you two of those pages. This one's from December 2010. It's an email to gvacation@gmail.com, which we can see is Jeffrey Epstein. It's from the Duke, which we can see in the email's signature refers to His Royal Highness, the Duke of York, and KG is just a nod to the fact that he's a Knight of the Garter, which is... Anyways, the subject line, Afghanistan International Investment Opportunities. It reads, attached is a confidential brief produced by the Provincial Reconstruction Team in Helmand Province for international investment opportunities. So the potential issue here is that this is an email written at a time when Andrew is working officially as the UK's Special Representative for International Trade and Investment, which is a position where he would have traveled far and wide and been given privileged access to senior government and business contacts around the world. But he's sending confidential information to Jeffrey Epstein.
There are a number of those emails that appeared to suggest that sensitive government information was shared. He was working as a trade envoy between 2001 and 2011, and he would have had sensitive government information shared with him that was supposed to be only for him.
This is one piece of evidence I suspect police will be investigating. I'll show you another. another email from 2010, except this one looks like a forward, again from the Duke, again to gvacation@gmail.com, but this time with 4 attachments. The email being forwarded is originally from Amit Patel, who we can see is, at the time, special advisor to His Royal Highness, the Duke of York. Patel is sending the Duke visit reports for Vietnam, Singapore, Hong Kong, and Shenzhen in relation to your recent visit to Southeast Asia. These documents are the ones Andrew appears to be forwarding to Jeffrey Epstein. Does this sharing of information with a disgraced financier and sex offender rise to the level of misconduct in public office? Again, this, I suspect, is just some of what police are now investigating and what may have helped lead to the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor.
One of the things that police will be looking for, I've no doubt, is digital evidence. So they'll be wanting to secure computers, phones, and all those things take time to analyse.
It should go without saying, this is a cataclysmic fall from grace for a member of the British royal family.
The significance is the arrest of a criminal investigation. Clearly, the reason this one was elevated is because they just found there was significant evidence to warrant an investigation.
He has always had a reputation of having, you know, shady friends in shady places. He's had scandal after scandal after scandal. And I think what we're now seeing is the result of that.
These emails from Andrew in the latest Epstein Files emails from 2010, importantly, that is continued contact with Epstein more than 2 full years after his conviction on child prostitution charges. The extent to which Andrew was involved in any of Epstein's sex crimes is a source of constant suspicion and disgrace. Andrew has denied any such involvement, but sometimes in a way that only made things worse.
I have no recollection of ever meeting her. I don't know if I've met her.
The most prominent accusation against Andrew, linked to the trafficking of minors for sex by Jeffrey Epstein, comes from the woman in this photograph. Virginia Giuffre sued Andrew, alleging he had sex with her 3 times, at least once while she was underage. Andrew denied this, said repeatedly he didn't even know her, but was unable to explain how she seemed to know him.
I don't remember that photograph ever being taken. I don't remember going upstairs. So I don't remember ever going up there. I'm at a loss to explain this particular photograph, and I do not remember anything.
That interview with the BBC in 2019 was 2 things. Disastrous, because his rebuttals to Giuffre's claims seemed at times unbelievable.
She described dancing with you and you profusely sweating, and that she went on to have possibly.
There's a slight problem with the sweating because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time, and that was yes, I didn't sweat at the time because I had suffered what I would describe as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War when I was shot at. And I simply, it was almost impossible for me to sweat.
But Andrew's performance in that interview was also wholly insufficient to silence the suspicion that he and Epstein were linked in a way that left the possibility of criminality on the table. Andrew ultimately reached an out-of-court settlement with Giuffre in 2022. She died by suicide in 2025.
What's really interesting now is that this has really mushroomed. First, it started with the Metropolitan Police here in London saying that they were investigating allegations into Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, but now there are 9 police forces across England and Scotland who are investigating links with Jeffrey Epstein and the UK.
There's a lot of police forces now looking at it around the world, and I wouldn't be surprised if Andrew is not the last name who is facing the judicial system.
So I want to be clear, the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor does not appear to be directly linked to any potential sex crime, but it is believed to be linked to Andrew's relationship with a convicted sex offender, a relationship whose murkiness has been incredibly damaging to Andrew, to the royal family, and to the victims who say decades of impunity have left lasting scars. Andrew's arrest is now among the most high-profile of consequences related to the Epstein Files.
I think that, what has happened over the last few months, and not just in relation to Mr. Mountbatten Windsor, but in relation to this cabal of powerful, wealthy men in particular, is that the lid has come off.
As I was told by a source close to the family, the show must go on, and it will do, but it will go on with very serious questions which simply aren't going to go away.
The question's going to be asked increasingly, what did Charles know? And I think people are going to start saying, what did William know? The strategy they've had all along has been saying, he's the bad egg. We've got nothing to do with him. But I think increasingly people are going to be saying, but yes, but you knew about this. So it's going to be very difficult for the royal family over the next months.
And it's telling that King Charles himself put out this statement. I have learned with the deepest concern the news about Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and suspicion of misconduct in public office. He writes, the authorities have our full and wholehearted support and cooperation. And he adds, let me state clearly, the law must take its course. Signed, not Buckingham Palace, as is the custom, but rather simply Charles. That is sending an extraordinary message, not just direct from the King of England, but from one brother to another.
Oh, yeah.
Canadian federal politics are absurd. My name's Aaron. This is Canadian Looney. If you've enjoyed our video, smash the like, hit subscribe. That is it. Thank you all so much for watching. Get your Canadian federal politics right here. Ciao for now, gang. Catch you in the next one.